So apparently the Elektron Analog Four, which is chilling here next to me, is a fantastic synth for dub techno, which comes to no surprise given the fact that it has a super flexible synth engine, which many even refer to as modular. While I don't have any modular gear, I can totally see where that perception comes from. So while it's super flexible, it's on the other hand sometimes a little hard to find the sweet spots. So in this video I'm going to show you one specific sweet spot which makes the Analog 4 a top synth for dub techno. We're exclusively using the Analog 4, no other instruments, nothing even for drums or any additional effects pedals. That's something for a later video. This video will concentrate on just the Analog 4. So of course we're using its powerful sequencer, which is famous for the whole Elektron ecosystem, and its amazing internal effects, which sadly are just sound effects because they're on one hand really great, and sometimes you just want to have multiple effects per track. So that's probably why a lot of people at one point or another just use additional effects pedals for delay, reverb, saturation, distortion. And the good thing is, because of the Analog Four's separate outputs, you have all the flexibility that you need. So my goal with this video is to create a pattern step by step, how to create the basic patch. We're starting from the init patch, and I show you the exact parameters that you have to apply to get those 3-note chords. And from there out, in the next video, we're going to add all sorts of effects and additional instruments, and I'm going to show you a couple techniques that I really enjoy doing for this washed out, highly modulated dub chords and dub soundscapes that kind of feel dense and captivating and deep and rhythmic and all the good stuff that we love so much about dub techno, really. There's another video coming and you don't want to miss it, so make sure to follow and subscribe. So I'm going to pop up the A4 and the phone real quick, and then we're good to go. So here we are now with the Analog 4. Let's pick a empty pattern, choose a empty kit, like 14. As you can hear, everything is clear now. Alright, so let's start with the basics. So the Analog 4 is basically a 4-track monosynth, and if you go into poly mode, you can chain, or you can kind of steal with the one track from the other tracks, which is eating up the polyphony, and something that I actually don't want. I still want to keep all 4 tracks or all 3 remaining tracks available. Let's say I have the big dub chord on track 1, still want to be able to have things on track 4, 3 and 4. So that's why poly mode is not going to work for me in this scenario. But as I mentioned in the intro, the Analog 4 has a couple really cool tricks up its sleeve. So to make a dub chord, just select the track that you want. I'll start with track 1, and on oscillator 1, set tuning to 7 and sub oscillator to 5. I tend to bring down the volume to around 80, 83, which makes the sound a little bit more pleasant. Now on the second oscillator, you're giving it +3, and thus creating a minor chord. Bring it down 1 octave, 2 octaves, and there you go. There you have your basic dub sound. And of course this is just the basic, the beginning. Oscillator shapes is set to saw wave, which is a very good starting point in my case, or in my thinking. And yeah, that's really where the fun begins, because you can now play around with the filtering. I really like the band pass filter. Make it a little bit, get a little bit of overdrive. And now you can basically just program a simple pattern. Give it a little bit of envelope, maybe some delay. So, sounding kind of basic at the moment, but still could be something. But this can be something. Now let's play around with the filter. Because I'm a lazy person, and you are probably too. I like those settings. A little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. So let's just program it. Man, already sounding like something. Now let's increase. Take a little bit of the highs off from the delay, giving it an analog feel. Maybe set it to ping pong, opening up the stereo field. And so here's another really cool trick with the delay. If you're on the FX channel and you're going to LFO, and it's already preset here, you have delay time. Now if you give it just a little bit, really just a little bit, you can see we're at 0.0 point something. What happens is that now the delay time gets modulated, and thus creating like a modulated delay effect, similar to tape effects that are always a little bit unstable. If you take it too far, it's too much. So we bring it down. Even more. Alright, there's a sweet spot. See, as I mentioned earlier, the Analog Four, it has those sweet spots. Because you have so many controls, it's a little bit hard to find them from time to time. Give it some reverb. There we have it. Already a really nice pattern. And of course you can now do stuff like this. Makes this only, the last one, only trigger every second round goes, every second time the pattern comes around. Defines the bass note a little bit, this one a little bit too. Okay, there we are. I think we need a little beat. So let's take this dub kick I made, load to the pattern, and yes, we're on E. Let's check this. bit louder, this one a little bit less loud. Okay, so this kick is just here for context. Okay, so we could be done with this tutorial right here, but actually I think we can do a lot more, because as nice as it sounds already, what if we add some filter envelope? And now we can basically let's add a hi-hat. Let me see, I have some around here. Even with a side chain. Alright. Really liking it so far. But I think, as much as I like the sound already, I think it's still a little bit empty in the background. So let's copy this. You can copy complete sounds by holding the tracks that you want to copy from. Function, copy, and then it says copy track 1. Select the track that you want to paste it to. Function, paste. And now we have it here as well. And yeah, let's change a few things up. For pad sounds, I really like this band stop filter. Now listen to this. This gives a really nice movement, but of course I don't want to wiggle this encoder the whole time. Let's just have it. Let's just have an LFO do the work. Slow it down. And pads usually need to be wide. So this is a little production trick maybe. And yeah, it's really not really a production tip if you think about it, but so this track is mono, it's dead center, and the pad I want it to be wider, so let's just, and because it's all mono, it's a mono synth, all we can do basically is do some panning so it moves from left to right. Down. Filter the highs a little bit away and maybe give it some noise. Just a little bit. Noise color really high, so I don't want the low frequency noise mess with my actual pad. I'll just place a trick. Make it play really long. Like 16. Bring it down to the background and maybe give it the chorus effect to widen it up even more. Send just a little bit of it into the delay. Now let's have a listen with way too loud. So, one thing I really like and tend to do is whenever I have something that is my main player, like this sequence here, and I have something that I want to add into it, but I don't want to destroy the vibe and I want to keep this priority the same, I turn the thing that I want to introduce all the way down, have everything play that I want to hear at full power, and just slowly bring in the sound that I want to introduce, so it's audible but not interfering and taking up so much attention really. So listen to this. I hope you're listening on headphones or on good speakers so you can hear. Just in the background. So let's do the same with the hi-hat. So we have the hi-hat here on track 3. Always use your ears. Don't look onto level meters and stuff like this. Always use your ears. So, as I said, everything that you introduce needs to add something, but shouldn't take away too much attention from the main player, from the lead instrument, so to say. Now let's remove what we just added, and this should give you a feel of what's, if that's already a good level, and you should have the feeling that something is missing. Okay, now listen. Really cool. Okay, so I think the levels are all right. Okay. I think we need something like a clap. Let's go sound manager, and I know I have claps around here. There are a few. Is this a good clap? Yes. Let's copy this one to the sound pool. And here, I already have a clap here. Okay, let's take this one. I think this is a better one. Down a little bit. My head is a little bit too dominant in comparison to the clap, so let's turn down hi-hat. Okay, this will be better. So, step 1 and 9 are the hi-hats. I need to turn this down, and this was wrong, this is the clap. Okay, so track 1 and track 9 is the hi-hat, track 5 and 13 is the clap, and there we are. Okay, so sounds like a really cool pattern, all right. But we haven't added any cool performance stuff with this fun knob here. So let's try something out, and I already have an idea. So the performance macros allow you to have 10 sets of 5 parameters that you can control with just one knob. And this is a little bit of an overkill, but really, really cool for performances. You can then choose between the 10. And if you have an octatrack, it's comparable to the scenes. And what's happening here, I'm going to show you with just our lead synth. Let's have it play in the background. And what I like to do is use the frequency of filter number 2, which is the bandpass, and also increase the length of the envelope, so the sustain. No, not the sustain, the release. So when I increase this knob, the filter frequency gets moved up, but also the notes are played longer. So I have a longer release tail. Now let's check this out. Nothing happening right now because we still need to set how much of the filter we want. How much we want this knob to react. So it's not going full circle, it's just the amount that you set here is on the whole encoder right here, which is really cool because it gives you kind of like a safe spot, like a safe area in which you can just play and move and have fun. Because you set it that way, you can be sure that it's always in this area that you figured sounds great. Okay, now let's add more release. And right there you can build really cool macros which you can use to create tension and variation and have it just on one. Oh, wrong track, sorry. Just to have fun with just one knob. Okay, so there you have it. There you have one pattern, you have one sweet spot from which you can go on and really make fun patterns with this amazing instrument. And yeah, we've just added a kick, a hi-hat, and let me know if you like to know how to make kicks and hi-hats with the Analog Four and claps actually too, which yeah, I think it's worth a video on itself. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I hope you actually learned, and I really hope you could follow along with these steps. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can add in additional effect pedals with the Analog Four, and then processing that even further with the Elektron Octatrack and the Syntakt. Both have two very cool features that I'm going to show you individually, so stay tuned. And you might have noticed that I have a bunch of presets for dub techno ready in this machine. That's because I'm working on a dub techno preset pack for the Analog Four. So if you want a taster pack with 10 of these sounds, I have the link down in the description box. It's totally free. You can take those presets and get a feeling for what the big pack will be. And of course, if you don't want the big pack later on, you can just see a few of the cool things that the Analog Four can do, which makes it so special and fun to use for dub techno music. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave comments, of course, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video, the part 2, is available. Again, thank you so much. Listen and talk, and see you next time.